In October, I read 2 books. In November, I read 15. Stay tuned and find out which ones I got to. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is MJ and this is my channel called Reading This Life, where we talk fiction, friends, and fun. This is my November wrap-up, and what a great wrap-up it's going to be. I've got a lot of books to talk about, some nostalgia, some fun, some banned and or challenged books. Let's hop right in. All right, so the first book that I read was The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This book was absolutely amazing. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. It is a National Book Award winner. There's a lot of honest language in here. There's a lot of Sherman Alexie's experience in here, and it may offend a lot of people. Sorry, I enjoyed it. It was juvenile at times. At times it stung a little bit because he did talk about white privilege, the white man, the white experience. He talked about a lot because, and he's giving us his perspective, okay? This is why we need to read banned books, challenged books, books that are controversial, so we can understand another person's experience and gain knowledge and empathy for that, you know? Okay, anyways. This book, let's see, I'm just going to read you a little bit of what I wrote. This book contained beautiful insight, lots of trauma, sexual thoughts that most boys have, and lots of hope. And that's what I loved about this book the most, was the hope piece. All right, so that was The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a tally as to how many banned books I've read so far this year, how many books I've read so far this year, and where I'm at with the Read What You Won't challenge. Okay, so we're just going to merge everything together. We're going to do some maths and put it at the end. All right, so that was book number 1. Book number 2, another banned and or challenged book. This is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. One of the most frequently banned books. This book I gave 4 stars. This is a Goodreads choice winner. This book was super emotional. This is coming from the perspective of the writer. His first, it's more of he categorizes it as a memoir. One of the most frequently banned and or challenged books about a queer Black boy growing up and sharing his experiences. An important narrative, not only for him, but also for those of us that want to learn his story. I did the audiobook, read by the author, was full of family relationships, family dynamics, his honest experiences, and most importantly, his truth. This book is a memoir, and he calls it a manifesto. If this book can help someone that is struggling, someone looking for representation, someone wanting to understand or to be understood, then it is a necessary book. And no one's forcing you to read it, but leave it on the shelves. 4 stars. Next, A Happy Death by Albert Camus. This was a shorty. I gave it 3 stars. It was written before The Stranger, and it has similar elements to The Stranger. It questions the meaning of life, very existential themes, and what is our role, what is our existence in this life. Some of the themes were of the time, meaning of the date of publication, and don't really carry the same weight as it does today. I have written, in light of recent events, it may have been bad timing on my part to read this book. Trigger warning for depressive themes, death, and self-serving misogyny. So, 3 stars. I would recommend it. I love The Stranger more, but this was also good. All right, next. An Excellent Host. This is by Chelsea G. Summers. This is an independent bookstore exclusive. This was fantastic. Oh, did I love this book. I needed this book after a happy death. Did I give it 5 stars? No, I gave it 5 stars. Let's see. Yes, and she's one of my new favorite authors. I have A Certain Hunger in my ebooks somewhere, and I have to get to it. Absolutely love the story and a newfound favorite author. Feminist, spicy, sacrificial, and timeless. Loved everything about it. This is just a short novella, and it spans 63 pages, and it's chef's kiss. Perfect. All right. Next was Bird by Bird, and this is by Anne Lamott, one of my favorite authors, and this was gifted to me by Book Chat with Pat. This is some instructions on writing and life. This is full of life lessons, tips, tricks, how to deal with family, getting through your shitty first draft, all of the great stuff that no one tells you that writing is, writing can be, etc., etc. It's all in here. And this is one that I'm going to be referencing back and forth when I need that extra little boost that my other books or my other people in my life can't give me. Fantastic. I gave this 4 stars. I started it once and I put it down and I finally picked it back up so I could finish it. A little humor, a little wit, lots of tips and tricks for writing in life, and a ton of truth, essential for any writer's library. So if you're a writer, pick it up. Next. Okay. Now we're getting into some good. Okay, I had to grab them. So these are the Sweet Valley High books that Ollie and I did as buddy reads. And let me tell you, we both had a heck of a good time with these books. These books took me out of, not a slump, but it gave me like a breath of new reading life. The perfect palate cleanser, the perfect book that I needed at that time. So we have 104, 105, 106. We have Love and Death in London, Date with a Werewolf, and ooh, Beware the Wolfman. Yeah. Just so good. So these are, the Sweet Valley High franchise was created by Francine Pascal. We lost Francine Pascal this past summer. And these are written by Kate William. These are from the 90s, and it has the twin sisters, Elizabeth and Jessica, going to England to do an internship for, I don't think it's for a summer. I think it's like a couple weeks or maybe 2 weeks or something like that. Like, it seems like a very drawn out time through the books, but it's really not. But the books had mystery. It had a little more violence than I thought it was going to have, but I didn't mind that whatsoever. And just a good storyline, you know? It's one of these stories where there's a mystery, there's ancillary characters that are coming into play. They introduce their stories, you're following them, there's a little bit of romance. It's just good. Think of it like 90210 when Brenda went to Paris. It's like that. And I lived for it. I lived for it. And this honestly has started my addiction for reading Sweet Valley High. I have one going on right now, and there's another trilogy that I think Ollie and I are going to read sometime really soon. So, good stuff. Let me see. So I would say this one, Love, Death in London, is my favorite. Then it would be Beware the Wolfman is my second favorite. And then the middle book, A Date with a Werewolf, is the third because it was like, it's the middle book. You know how that goes. Okay, so we covered that. The first book I gave 5 stars. The second book I gave 4 stars, and the third book I gave 4 stars too. Okay. Now I didn't read all of those in a row, so there's other things sprinkled, but I just wanted to talk about them together. Because I thought it'd be weird if I didn't talk about them together. All right. Then I revisited Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being. Again, for any creative that is out there, for any person that loves knowing where that comes from, where inspiration comes from, where our hang-ups come from. This is a fabulous reference to keep. I have this also on audio, and it is read by the author, and it is chef's kiss perfection. If you have doubts, if you need creative inspiration, if you need to know where that flow state comes from, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Get this book. Ask Santa for it. Okay, and that one, 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars the first time last year, read it again, 5 stars. That was a reread. Okay, then, do I have it here? Okay, I read my first Andre Norton, and this is Cat's Eye. And I mean, just look at the cover. It's wild! And the book is wild too. It is one in a series. I don't think I'm going any further with it. This is Dipple number 1. I gave it 3 stars. I have the best cover out of all of the covers that I have seen. And this was a fun and interesting world to drop into. Cats, foxes, and a crab. Love the book more after the halfway point. So the beginning was kind of a struggle because you really just get dropped into this environment and there's no... I like knowing a little bit. Like, give me a little, backstory. Give me a little explanation as to what's going on. So you kind of had to navigate the waters regarding the world building into what the heck was going on. But after the second half, loved it. Loved it. We're talking about animals that can communicate telepathically. There's just quite a bit of shenanigans in this book. And I don't think I'm going to continue with this series, but I think down the road, I'm going to want to reread it again. I want to experience it again, having read it once. Does that make sense? Does anybody else ever do that? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, so that was Cat's Eye. Then, okay, No One Left to Come Looking for You. Oof. This is by Sam Lipsty. This is a book that I received from the Strand subscription box that they had. This is a signed book, and this really is a love story to New York City in the post-punk era. And it's just wild. If you're looking for a wild story that has a plot, but it just keeps moving in all these directions, this is for you. Not my kind of book. I gave it 2 stars. Yeah. A wild tale of 1990s New York City punk music scene and the mystery of a missing guitar and band member. This is the type of story that takes you on a ride. The writing overwhelmed me at times to keep up. Not my cup of tea, but that's the beauty of books. I would still recommend it to anyone that wanted to check it out. And that's No One Left to Come Looking for You by Sam Lipsty. Okay. I don't even know how I remember half of these. All right. Then I did a buddy read with Michael Romeo Talks Books. And this was Magic by William Goldman. Never read William Goldman before. And this book missed the mark for me. I was expecting, I think I built this book up in my head and the payoff just wasn't there for me. We do see, it's about this magician and he has a ventriloquist doll dummy named Fats. And there's a female that's involved and we have a little bit of a mental decline. And that really is where the story, where the nuts and bolts of the story is, within that decline. But I'm going to be honest with you, the decline wasn't as severe as I wanted it to be. I wanted Fats to just go wild, and that didn't happen. But I did enjoy it. 3 stars. My first William Goldman, I'm like, it has to get better from here. I hear the movie's really good. But the book... not for me. Not for me. Okay, but I gave it a go. All right, then we got into some philosophy. Buckle up. We've got No Mun, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering by Thich Nhat Hanh. And that's 5 stars. If you want to get inspired, if you have struggles in life, if you want to overcome something in your life, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Then we got into some more. I love it. I enjoy a good nonfiction self-help book. I just love it. The Mountain Is You, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. And this is by Brianna Wiest. And this also is another 5 stars. If you're looking for self-improvement, if you're looking at goal setting, if you're looking at changing a part of your life, changing a habit, doing something to better yourself in this existence while you're here, it's a fantastic book. And that book was all the rage on TikTok. And it did live up to the hype. So I own a copy of it. And then I also did the audiobook when I was in my vehicle. So really, really good. If you're looking for change in 2025, I recommend it. And then the last book that I read for November was We the Animals by Justin Torres. This book, whoa. I did not expect it to be what it was. And I don't believe it is a banned and/or challenged book, but I can very well see it being that. Okay, so the last book that I read for the month was We the Animals by Justin Torres. This is a book that I've heard about since Books on the Nightstand. Do you remember that podcast? I absolutely love that podcast, and I remember one of the hosts talking about it. And We the Animals is a story that is young and beautiful and gritty and troubling and scary and empowering, and there are just so many things that I can use to describe this book. It left me a bit shattered. Because I really didn't know what this book entailed, what it was about, anything like that. So this book was published in 2018, and it's just such strong writing, such powerful writing. It's a coming-of-age story about a boy and his brothers as they navigate life through the dysfunction of their parents that have their own issues, as well as things that the children experience, and the coming-of-age piece for the main protagonist. And it's brilliant, heartfelt, troubling, worrisome, glorious, and it left me shattered. I don't know what else to say. If you love reading LGBTQIA stories, if you love reading things that can be a little transgressive, but also beautiful, I recommend it. Oh, so good. And I gave that 4 stars. Okay, and that was my month. That was my reading month in November. Okay, so right now we're going to put the tally. I'm going to put the numbers here for the amount of books that I read up to November 30th. Read What You Own challenge books right here up to November 30th. And banned books. How many banned books did I read this year? And they all have to say somewhere online that they have been banned or challenged in the past. We the Animals, I can't find anything on that, so I'm not going to count that. But the number will be right here. All right, everyone, that's my wrap up for November. I hope you are all doing well. Make sure if you like my content to subscribe, as well as leave me a snowman emoji if you made it to the end of this video. All right, everyone, make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of others, and I will see you in my next video, whether that be sooner or later. So until next time, goodbye for now and happy reading.